Hello, beautiful. Good morning. I'm super excited to talk a little bit about emotional intelligence because I've been just getting so many questions lately about using our emotions in positive or negative ways. So, emotional intelligence is the ability to understand, use, and manage your emotions in positive ways. And why is it so important in order to understand, use, and manage your emotions in positive ways? Well, our emotional intelligence is often directly tied to how we learn to manage our emotions at different stages of our lives, right? And so it's so often when we have been conditioned as a society to drink alcohol for every reason under the sun that we actually miss a huge chunk growing up of learning how to do emotional regulation and learning how to actually understand our emotions and process our emotions instead of just bypassing them. And so what's so interesting is I've really through my framework, developed the three core reasons why we use alcohol to manage our emotions. And for some people, there's like 10 reasons, 20 reasons, but sometimes there's just these three main feelings that we really want to embody by drinking alcohol. So the first one is that we need to relax. Like we need to de stress, we need to decompress. Our lives is go, 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 go all day. At the end of the day, we just can't wait to come in and turn off. And so, in that case, our emotional regulation with alcohol would be using it as something to help us relax, to something to decompress, something to turn off. And it's so interesting because there's so many people, it's called like literally the American ritual to come home after a stressful day of work and then use alcohol as a way to unwind and to decompress and to relax. And so what happens is that we get so productive and we just do so much throughout our day. We just have this energy of almost adrenaline carrying us throughout the day. And we never really learned how to process that. We never really learned how to decompress on ourselves. So here's the thing. When you are in this high state, when you're not just like, it's not high in the sense that it feels good. I mean, like you're just overwhelmed with all the things that you've had to do and all those things throughout the day. What happens is that our sympathetic nervous system is on overdrive, right? There's a lot of cortisol being released, there's a lot of adrenaline being released. And what needs to happen is we need to switch over into our parasympathetic nervous system. Now, we've never been taught to do that. We've never been taught to do that, right? And so what happens is instead we've been taught to use alcohol as a way to de-stress. So we come home from a stressful day at work, we drink a drink, we drink a few more, and we never really learned how to actually process those feelings and switch over to our parasympathetic nervous system. Now, you might wrongly assume that alcohol does actually help you switch over to your parasympathetic nervous system and relax you, but it does not, in fact. In fact, there's studies that prove that when we drink alcohol, we release even more cortisol and even more adrenaline than had we not drank at all. So our bodies are going even more overdrive in that sympathetic nervous system and adrenal fatigue when we drink alcohol. And so one of the number one reasons why people drink to relax isn't in effect actually doing that. And so we need to learn how to decompress. We need to learn how to actually switch over in our body's natural mechanisms of relaxing and sending hormones and neurochemicals out that actually will do that. And so emotional intelligence is recognizing when you are stressed out, recognizing when you're overwhelmed, and then using tools and modalities to actually decompress yourself without using alcohol. Because alcohol is not solving it, alcohol is not even relieving it for a moment. Alcohol is literally actually making you more stressed out over time. Second reason why a lot of people drink is to have fun. So it's kind of different from that energy of like, ooh, I want to turn off, I want to turn down. It's I want to turn on. I want to go out. I want to have fun, right? It's Friday night. I want some excitement in my life. And so in this case, this emotional regulation, this emotional intelligence that we never really learn is recognizing when we're bored, recognizing when we're bored and kind of unfulfilled, and actually using healthy, challenging tools to capture that boredom and then do something productive with it. So, when we were kids, I think we actually were pretty good at this. We learned to ride bikes and we learned to go roller skating and to climb trees. We harness the feelings of that excitement we want to feel with adventure and with challenges. But as adults, we forget. And then alcohol gets thrown into the mix as adolescence and early adulthood. That alcohol supplements our entire idea of fun and excitement in our lives. And so we're not actually able to then figure out how to truly induce the feelings of joy and challenge. Now here's the thing, to the human brain, there's nothing that exciting about alcohol because it's the same thing we do over and over and over and over. It has that like initial peak and that initial idea of instant gratification, but it's actually making your brain more bored over time. So think of really similarly with TV. TV at first might seem like, yes, I can't wait to watch a show, it's going to be so exciting. But the more we watch TV over time, it actually shows that it actually creates more boredom in your brain and more depression, which is what alcohol does too. So I think a huge other part of this emotional intelligence piece that we're really missing is recognizing when we feel bored, when we feel like we want excitement, when we feel like we want a challenge, and doing nothing with that except for reaching for a drink for alcohol, which doesn't really work over time. And so it doesn't really work to turn yourself on over time in a long, sustaining, fulfilling way. We just use it as a band-aid, right? And so emotional intelligence is knowing how to understand, use, and manage your emotions in healthy and positive ways. And when it comes to the way we've been taught to use alcohol, we don't understand how to decompress after all of the stress we carry every single day. And we don't understand how to deal with boredom after, just doing the same routine over and over. So there's two big needs there that are not being carried through. Emotional intelligence is also the ability to really connect and be present and have empathy with other people, which is another reason why we drink, but it actually then doesn't work. So when we drink, oftentimes it's a social thing. It's for socializing, it's for, going out, for bonding, going out with your girlfriends for some wine or happy hour. And we've all been literally duped ever since we were teenagers and even younger than that, thinking that alcohol is the best way to socialize, that alcohol is what you need to socialize, and that if you don't drink, other people will think that you're not part of the crowd or the team or that you're not on the same bus as everyone else. And it couldn't be further from the truth because when we socialize with alcohol involved, it becomes repetitive, it becomes monotonous. We're not able to actually connect with other people on a close way. We're not actually able to bond with them. And people have shown that when they remove alcohol from their lives, they are able to be so much more present with the ones that they love and their relationships strengthen. And especially when you're inspiring other people to go for their dreams and their aspirations and their values versus this like coping mechanism that everyone kind of has in common but doesn't really serve anyone, it actually strengthens your relationships over time too. And so emotional intelligence is also recognizing that alcohol isn't in fact bonding you with any other people, it's actually detracting from the bond that you could be making. And so it's so fascinating to me because everyone wants to think that they're emotionally intelligent. Nobody wants to think that they have the emotional like maturity level of a teenager. And yet sometimes we have to ask ourselves, did I ever learn how to process my emotions? Did I ever learn how to truly decompress and relax after stress? Did I ever learn how to bring more excitement and challenge into my life when I'm feeling bored? Did I ever learn how to really connect and bond with other people? And the answer is usually not, because we have learned to just use alcohol as the tool to meet those needs really, really quickly over time. And so, it's for me, and I won't say anything about anyone else, but for me, because I started drinking regularly at around 17 and I didn't stop till I was 30, when I was a 30-year-old, I probably still had the emotional intelligence of a 17-year-old. Now, I know that's scary to say out loud, and I'm not going to say it for anyone else, but for me, that was true. It was true that I never learned how to manage or regulate or understand or even use my emotions in positive and healthy ways. And why? Like, why should this even matter? Why do we care about this? Because understanding and using your emotions in positive ways means that you learn from your emotions. It means that you process the things that need to be processed and you have these insights and these ahas into what you need more of in your life, what you really want in your life, and what you don't want in your life. Here's the thing, if a job is making you stress every single day, day after day, day after day, you're not just meant to put up with that for the rest of your life. There might be messages in those emotions trying to tell you, you know what, I think you would be more better suited to this, or I think you should really go for that dream of launching your business, or I think this, or I think that. We are meant to learn from our emotions. But because we use alcohol so often to just shove them down, we never get those learnings. I learned so much from my emotions when I stopped numbing them. I learned that I had these aspirations of writing books and traveling and launching this incredible business that can support me. And I was numbing all of that before. And I was obviously really bored before because I didn't have enough challenge and excitement in my life. And I think emotional intelligence is actually sometimes more important than IQ, than intellectual quotient, right? Than our intelligence, because our emotional intelligence is how we relate to other people and it's how we align our lifestyle with our values. Intellect alone can't do that. Intellect, in fact, you could be the smartest person in a room, but still pretty miserable or depressed with your life and not really doing the things you want to do. You see what I mean? So, emotional intelligence is really important. And if you're really curious about how you can heighten your emotional intelligence, if you really want to learn how to take care of your emotions and use them and understand them in positive and healthy ways, I highly recommend you join me in my Dry Bootcamp program. It starts tomorrow, and we're going for Sober October with the Dry Bootcamp. It's a 22-day experience to really learn how to manage your emotions and use healthy rituals to express them and learn from them. It's taken everything I've learned about emotional regulation and really given you practices to not only break down why alcohol is not effective in meeting those needs and emotional needs, but also how to change the brain into thinking that it does and really get hungry to try these new rituals that you can implement into your life in order to have more happiness, more excitement, more relaxation, truly at the real core of that word, not the way we think that alcohol does it. And so it's so interesting how Sherry just says, I stopped drinking alcohol over a year ago and I got a new job and moved to another part of the country. It's so true how when we're drinking, we're really out of touch and tune with what we want. And then we're kind of like sleepwalking to the fact that like that should even matter, that we should even know what we want, right? And we remove the alcohol and all of a sudden these emotions are teaching us, that intuition's teaching us to what we really want. And that's where these incredible success stories come from, is we're actually listening to those emotions and that intuition to make the changes we were supposed to make. And so if you're interested in this emotional intelligence work, if you really want to learn how to just take a little space from alcohol and really understand your emotions and how you can meet your needs in really healthy ways, I invite you to join Dry Bootcamp. It starts tomorrow. It is a very low ticket cost program. You can actually get started with our payment plan for just $57 today. The whole program is only $199, which is 2 times less than the average drinker spends every single month on alcohol. And it would be such an incredible way to really start this work of understanding yourself and your emotions to get to the core of what you want and then go for it in life. The program is not just like some PDF you go through, it is a full curriculum for those 22 days along with coaching calls. So we have 3 coaching calls every single week where you get to ask questions of me, you get to get coached by me and my team, and really go over our challenges and questions and wins together. And we're also in a daily community off of Facebook. I love Facebook, but Facebook also has its cons, where we get to really get to know one each other and get support on a daily basis from coaches and mentors, whether it's the celebrating our gratitudes every single day, sharing our wins, or going over any challenges. And so the whole community comes with the experience, and you literally get to meet women all over the world that are this growth oriented and just want to ditch alcohol based on their intuition. So it's super, super exciting. There's a lot of other guides you get from it. So I have my craving meditation in there. We have different guides of learning how to use the elements like the earth, air, fire, water elements to actually soothe and decompress your body, because it's actually not a really logical process. It's like a somatic process. It's something we need to do with our bodies to decompress. There's guides on how to learn to use your boredom and transfer it into excitement and adventure in your life. There's guides on how to socialize confidently. So it's a really robust, incredible program that you can join for super low cost. And we start tomorrow. So I hope you join. I can't wait to see you there. I can't wait to get started tomorrow. Our first call is at 5 p.m. Pacific. Tonight's the deadline to join, so be sure to do so. You can do so at euphoricaf.com/dry bootcamp or in the link in bio wherever you're watching this. So I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. And I just want to impart to you how important emotional intelligence is. I think it's even more important than intelligence itself, and how much happier it will make you when you improve your emotional intelligence. And we can't have high emotional intelligence if we're always using alcohol to mask our emotions. Do you see what I'm saying? And so learning, even whether you drink once a week or you drink once a day or whatever it is, learning actually how to feel into your emotions and using healthy tools to express them will change your life. So join me in Dry Bootcamp. I hope to see you tomorrow.